Welcome again to Faith and Tell with Mackie. My name is DR.AyieraJR and it's lovely to see you. Guess what? We are at episode 3 where we talk about faith and money. So if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Follow out my TikTok page, my Instagram page, and my Facebook page, DR.AyieraJR. Lovely to see you here, my people. Tell others to subscribe, let them come back again to this channel so that you can listen in, you can follow our shows in different channels, and welcome. Check the scoreboard, yeah. You need to look the part. You need to look the entrepreneur. You need to look good. But I will. You got me set for life. Angels in heaven. Nobody talks about the faith that you need before you start seeing the results.
Welcome to Faith, until we make it.
So, in other episodes, I've been talking about my journey. And in this episode, it is titled Faith and Money because we need to talk about money in depth. So I want to talk about my truth about money. I want to give you one story previously. While I was standing at the balcony, I keep referring to this story. I've said it in so many episodes. I've said it in so many shorts. So you can go back to my channel and check through the other episodes where I talk about my story on the balcony. But just before I get to that, check, let me just touch on it. There was a time before I started my businesses, before all the other businesses were failing. I had done chips business, I had done nilikuwa nimefulia watu kufua Kasarani jamani, kama nilikufulia Sarah, nilifulia mama mwingine anaitwa Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for trusting me, even if I didn't do a good job, but thank you so much for trusting me. So thing is, before I got all this, or before I got here, I did not have the money that I want to talk about. So having talked about that, I used to stand on the balcony and tell my friend Ken, and tell my friend Ken that, my goodness, I'm gonna make it someday. I'm gonna make it someday. I'm gonna make it someday. Did I have any money? Nope. What did I have? I just had faith. So talking about truth about money is, I will talk about money before I got it and money after I got it, and what has worked for me and what has not worked for me. So before, I did not have the money. I tried the chips business, I tried laundry business, niliekea watu wallpaper, nilifanya hizo vitu zote. They were just trying to help me put food on the table. And I used to get hand to mouth. And I had given another story where nilikuwa ninauza domestos. Domestos ni kitu ingine hapo ya kuosha choo. Kwa mgongo ninatembeza, nilikuwa salesperson, ninatembeza kwa estate, watu wananunua, alafu ninapata pesa ya put on the table. So the thing is, once you get into business and business starts working out, it is important that you realize that money will not be constant. So I want to talk about, after I had gotten money, what did I do for me, or how did I go about it so that it can work out for me? A thing is, it is not every day that you get money. So after I started making good money, after I had left employment, gotten a few clients in my business, what was happening is I was succumbing to the pressure of life by buying stuff that I did not need. And I didn't realize that I had employees. I didn't realize that there were bills to be paid in a company. I didn't realize all those things. So what's happening is, I was wasting money, and I didn't realize that at some point of your journey, there are days that you do not have that money. There are days that you have to tegemea pesa yenye ulilipwa na client maybe 2-3 months ago. So what was happening is, I did not plan myself properly. And the fact that I did not plan myself properly, it really affected the way I used to work with money. So unapata niko na pesa, nikishalipa watu, sina pesa ingine ya kurun business. In business, you need money for operations. You need money for payroll. You need money for miscellaneous. You need money for whatever. So after you get the money, the most important thing that you need to do is, first of all, do a budget at all times. I did not learn that. And these are some of the things that I would want to talk about here, or the lessons that I've learned, so that you can understand the truth about money once you've gotten it. Once you get the money, the thing that you need to do is start by budgeting it. I will talk about in other episodes on how you budget. I'll talk about in other episodes what you do when you do not have money. You can get a person where you borrow, a person or a bank or a circle where you borrow in this scenario. So this episode, please listen in. We are talking about the truth about money and what has worked for me and what has not worked for me. I'm going to give you a story of how faith kept me going before I got the money. So I used to stay at Kasarani. Kasarani, I can't remember the exact place, but nikienda huko physically, of course, nitaikumbuka. So I used to stay in a certain, was it a single room ama bed sitter? Kwa basement, unajua ukishaishi kwa basement, definitely you do not have the money to songa huku juu. Because as you go up, money, unahitaji more money to nini. So before that, ndio hiyo time nilikuwa nafanya chips, nilikuwa nafanya sijui nini, nilikuwa nafanya hizo vitu zingine to just sustain me. So what kept happening is I did not have enough money to sustain myself. I did not have anything. So I used to stay in that house having pure faith that by next month I will get something to keep me going, keep me going, keep me going, keep me going. So something that kept me going is this faith that I keep talking about. So how did faith keep me going? In this house, as I've mentioned, sikukuwa nina manager hata kulipa. Nilikuwa ninauza hapa vitu na pale, ninauza chips, ninafulia watu, ndo inimekie sense kukaa kwa hiyo place. So one time I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pray. I believe. So I'm gonna pray and tell God, please, whatever come may, let me just do what? Let me get to the point of having maybe a stable job so that I can be in a position to pay for this house, pay. Na nilikuwa naomba job ya pesa ngapi? Mungu nisaidie job ya 18,000. Mungu nisaidie job ya 20,000. So with that faith of, oh my goodness, I have a degree already, I'm doing my master's, I cannot manage to do all those things. I used to pray to God, give me a job that is 18,000, give me a job. And I kept having faith through and through and networking with other people up until one time my cousin comes and tells me there's a job at a call center. Unaweza taka? Then I went to that particular call center, then nikafanya interview. Kufanya interview, then I got the job. Guess what kept me going until to the point of where I got that job? Is me having faith that things will definitely work out. And now when I started the business, as I've mentioned in earlier minutes, is that sometimes we have good months, sometimes we have terrible months. So in good months, of course, when I started the business, is what was happening is I was squandering the money for the wrong reasons, for all those things, whatever. So what I've learned over time is in good months, una keep akiba for the bad months. So let me give a scenario of one of the bad months that I get from time to time. One of the bad months that I keep getting or I get is when clients delay what? Invoices. Unatuma invoice January. Ukishatuma invoice January, mtu anaamua kulipa July. What keeps you going as a person is just the thought of this thing is gonna get paid, or this thing is gonna work out, or if I talk to this particular client in this manner, they're gonna pay out this particular invoice. So faith is what keeps me going through and through. And sometimes they choose not to pay. Are you gonna beat them? And my clients are not Kenyan based. You're not gonna beat them. They choose not to talk to you again. So the only thing that keeps me going as an individual is faith. And the faith is the one that I am encouraging you. So in good months, what is it called? In good months, you keep things for the bad months that are coming, and there are good months and there are bad months. And in good months, you prepare out your payroll. In good months, you prepare out the budget for the year. In good months, you prepare out for miscellaneous. Then in bad months, it shields you in this scenario. And for you to keep going as a business is you are required to have faith. And in these scenarios that I've all given, they showcase that faith is the only thing that will help you stand as an entrepreneur that is standing out, or as an entrepreneur that is already established. As much as we've been talking about faith until we make it, and I've given you scenarios of faith until we make it, sometimes huhitaji kukuwa delusional. So when I started earlier on, when I started my business, I can't remember the month when it was, but what happened is I lost all the clients at once. And I had talked about other episodes where I was going through a heartbreak, so I wasn't replying to clients, things weren't moving, I wasn't replying to other clients, I was going through a heartbreak, a fully fledged heartbreak. So I was in therapy at that particular time. I was just trying to not self-delete myself. So what was happening is I did not become delusional. I had lost everything. I had lost the source of income. I had lost my employees, because if you lose clients, that means you are losing employees. If you lose everything else, that means you do not have the premise, that you cannot comfortably afford the premise that you are in. So when we're talking about faith, you are not supposed to be delusional. What did I do in my scenario? Because I was going through an active heartbreak. I was going through therapy. I was putting my energy into towards healing myself so that I can come back as I have come back. Is I decided to close down the business. Nikafunga premise zote, nikabid all the employees goodbye, and I told them, you know what, there's nothing much I'm gonna do. I cannot pay you, and the only thing that I had is money for me surviving up until the point I got up. It took me 8 months to heal through that heartbreak. So this is the thing, when we are talking about faith, you are not supposed to be delusional. As much as you are, we are in this faith, is you will have real-time problems. Real-time problems will be clients are not paying. Real-time problems will be employees are leaving. Let me give you a recent scenario. Last year November, nikaambia employees wangu, it was just a joke. Hey, by the way, mkipata better opportunities, mnaweza enda. Mmoja anaitwa Sally akapata better opportunity. Kwa hiyo kampuni yenye alipata better opportunity, they were paying better. It's just the same work that they were paying better because their clients pay better. So what kept happening is Sally akachukua 5 of my tenured employees. Is that not a problem that almost killed me? Niliitwa meeting na client mara moja. What is happening to this particular campaign? What is going on? What is, you know, you will still, as much as we're talking about faith, you will still have real life problems. And the real life problems will look like employees are leaving you. They are complaining that you're not paying them well. You're not doing their utilities properly. You're not doing this and this for them. You're not doing that and that. You will still have that. So you're not supposed to be delusional kwa sababu nimeomba. Ni hivyo tu, Mungu atabaki out hivyo tu. No, you will still encounter real-time problems, and you need to come up with structures on how you deal with this real-time problem as you have faith towards that, towards the point of making your business stand up or your journey stand up in this scenario. We've been talking about faith and money, and a thing that you need to know is inconsistent income doesn't mean inconsistent faith. You need to have faith through and through, and faith as well doesn't look at your bank account. So it is important that you continue having faith when even the money is low and when you have high money. So it is important, kabisa kabisa. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing again and listening. I do love you a lot. So bye guys.
Check the scoreboard, yeah.
You need to look the part. You need to look the entrepreneur. You need to look good.
But I will. You got me set for life. Angels in heaven.
Nobody talks about the faith that you need before you start seeing the results.
Welcome to Faith, until we make it.